The total lunar eclipse did not just dim the light of the moon, it sealed cycles that were no longer meant to continue in your life. Spiritually, it acted as heaven's stamp of completion. Everything that was unstable, unclear, or misaligned was brought to the surface, forcing you to confront what you could no longer ignore. This is why many chosen ones felt emotional turbulence, strange dreams, or even conflict rising around them, because the blood moon exposed what could not travel into the new season. The seal is spiritual and permanent. While your emotions may tempt you to reach back into old habits, relationships, or familiar but toxic spaces, the reality is that those doors have been shut. The eclipse did not close them to punish you, but to protect you from walking into misalignment. The very energy of the cosmos rearranged itself so your path could be cleared. This is why today matters so much. On September 9, 2025, you are walking in the fresh afterglow of a celestial covenant. If you honor the seal and do not tamper with what God has ended, you will see breakthroughs unfold with supernatural speed. After every eclipse, the energy does not just fade away, it magnifies what was already in motion. This means that for chosen ones, every decision carries multiplied weight. The single greatest mistake you can make right now is to step back into what God has already ended. Many people will feel the pull of the familiar, the comfort of old cycles, or the temptation to reopen doors that heaven has already sealed. But doing so is not just disobedience, it is sabotage. God has spent years preparing you for this moment. Every trial, every battle, and every tear was designed to position you for the blessing that is now within reach. To return to the past is to forfeit the reward of your endurance. The eclipse was heaven's final confirmation that the old is gone. To ignore that sign is to invite delay, destruction, and missed opportunities. This is why vigilance is so important. One wrong choice, one compromise, one step back into a toxic environment could obliterate the alignment God just set into place. Guard your steps, because not everything that calls to you is meant to be answered. The eclipse did more than shift the heavens, it revealed you to yourself. Many chosen ones felt an unusual heaviness, a sense of being confronted by their own thoughts, habits, and hidden fears. This is because the blood moon acts as a mirror, magnifying whatever you carry inside. If you held faith, it grew stronger. If you harbored doubt, it echoed louder. The moon reflected back your inner world with undeniable clarity. This moment was not punishment but preparation. God allowed the mirror of the blood moon so you could see what must be healed, released, or strengthened before stepping fully into your destiny. If you noticed old wounds resurfacing, hidden fears emerging, or patterns of behavior being revealed, understand that this was heaven giving you a chance to choose differently. The mirror does not lie, and now you cannot ignore what was revealed. This is your chance to cleanse, to release, and to align before blessings pour out. Many chosen ones desire blessings, breakthroughs, and abundance, but desire alone is not enough. Awareness is the true key to walking into God's timing. The total lunar eclipse activated blessings, but it also heightened distractions. The enemy knows what season you are entering, and his strategy is simple: to blind you with noise so you miss the signs heaven is sending. You must sharpen your awareness. Pay attention to your dreams, sudden revelations, and even the shifts in your relationships. God is speaking louder than ever before, but if your spirit is clouded by distraction or fear, you will miss what He is trying to show you. Awareness is spiritual currency. It determines whether you recognize the door when it opens. This is why protecting your focus after the eclipse is crucial. Desire may ignite your journey, but awareness ensures you walk the right path. Eclipses are not just celestial events, they are divine resets. The blood moon of September 7, 2025, was a cosmic marker that ended karmic loops which had trapped many chosen ones for years, even lifetimes. Cycles of betrayal, loss, financial struggle, and spiritual warfare have been brought to a close. What once repeated endlessly has now been interrupted by heaven's decree. This means you will begin to notice shifts in areas of your life where you once felt stuck. Doors that never seemed to open may suddenly swing wide. People who drained your spirit may suddenly exit without explanation. The patterns that held you back are no longer permitted to continue. But this freedom requires responsibility. If you try to force those old patterns back into your life, you risk undoing what God has just released. The eclipse closed doors to protect your future, not to harm your present. Honor the ending, and you will inherit the new beginning. In this post-eclipse window, your spirit is more sensitive than usual. You may feel energy shifts more deeply, sense people's intentions before they speak, or discern atmospheres the moment you walk into a room. This is not paranoia. It is heightened spiritual awareness, a gift meant to help you navigate the days ahead. However, sensitivity requires discipline. If you allow yourself to be consumed by fear, anxiety, or overthinking, you will misinterpret what you sense. Instead of seeing clearly, you may project your insecurities onto situations that are neutral. This is why grounding yourself in prayer, meditation, and stillness is crucial. The more still you are within, the more accurate your discernment will become. God increased your spiritual sensitivity for protection, not confusion. Guard it wisely. Every blessing requires maturity to hold it. The total lunar eclipse was not just a celestial spectacle. It was heaven's way of testing whether you are truly ready for what you've been praying for. The emotional storms, the resurfacing of old temptations, the conflicts that seemed to arise suddenly, all of these were tests of your readiness. If you handled these storms with wisdom, you've proven to heaven that you can carry more. If you fell into the same traps, do not despair. The test revealed where you still need growth. Either way, the eclipse provided clarity about your next steps. God is not punishing you, He is preparing you. Readiness is not about perfection, but about awareness, obedience, and trust. If you keep walking with faith, you will not miss what is yours. Though the eclipse has passed, its shadow remains. Spiritually, this shadow represents the residue of endings, the feelings of loss, confusion, or emptiness that can surface when you've been stripped of old cycles. Many chosen ones feel the temptation to fill that emptiness quickly by running back to what's familiar. But this is the trap. The shadow is not a punishment but a waiting room. It is the space between what has ended and what is about to begin. If you sit with it, if you remain patient, the shadow will transform into clarity. But if you rush to escape it, you risk choosing wrongly and losing alignment. The shadow is temporary. It only lingers to remind you, don't run back when you're meant to move forward. The enemy is strategic. He rarely attacks during the moment of revelation, but rather in the quiet aftermath. After the total lunar eclipse, when the heavens have sealed your destiny and blessings are aligning, the adversary waits for you to feel uncertain, empty, or restless. This is when subtle distractions, old temptations, and false voices begin to creep back in. These distractions are not random. They are designed specifically to pull you out of alignment. You may notice people resurfacing from your past, opportunities that look good but carry hidden traps, or sudden conflicts meant to provoke you into lowering your vibration. If you are not discerning, you could mistake these deceptions for divine direction. This is why vigilance is critical in these days. The eclipse was God's signature. The enemy's job is to smudge it. Don't let him. What you focus on now multiplies. The eclipse amplified the spiritual law of attention. What you give energy to will expand. If you feed your fears, they will grow louder. If you pour into your vision, it will gain momentum. This is why protecting your focus is not just wise, it is spiritual warfare. Distractions may come disguised as urgency, pleasure, or comfort. Yet, every moment you invest in what does not serve your calling drains the energy meant to manifest your blessing. Guarding your focus is not about deprivation but preservation. By saying no to distractions, you are saying yes to destiny. Chosen ones, your focus right now is the doorway to the future God prepared. Protect it fiercely. The blood moon was more than a cycle in the sky. It was a covenant between heaven and the chosen ones. A covenant is a divine agreement, a spiritual contract sealed not by man, but by God Himself. The eclipse acted as a cosmic signature, confirming that what was spoken over your life is still active and unstoppable. But every covenant comes with responsibility. You are not just a passive recipient of blessings, you are an active participant in alignment. Your thoughts, your choices, and your discipline either strengthen or weaken your connection to the covenant. God has done His part, now He calls you to walk in obedience, awareness, and trust. The heavens declared it, but your actions will decide how quickly you see it manifest. The eclipse magnified what was hidden not only in you, but also in those around you. Many of you may begin to notice secrets being revealed, people's true intentions surfacing, or long-buried truths coming into the light. Do not resist this exposure. It is God's way of cleansing your path. Hidden truths can be uncomfortable, especially when they involve people you trusted or situations you thought you understood. But the blood moon made it impossible for masks to remain. This season requires courage. The courage to accept truth even when it hurts, the courage to release those who cannot walk with you, and the courage to step into clarity instead of illusion. Truth revealed is freedom gained. Do not fear it, embrace it. For those who remain aligned, the days after the eclipse bring acceleration. Things that once took years to manifest will begin to happen with unusual speed. This is because the heavens have cleared the blockages, and divine timing has been set in motion. Expect sudden breakthroughs, divine connections, and doors opening in unexpected ways. Acceleration, however, requires preparation. If your spirit, mind, and daily habits are not ready, you will not be able to sustain the blessings when they arrive. God is not just releasing opportunities. He is testing whether you can handle them with maturity and faith. The eclipse activated a higher timeline, but it is your responsibility to walk at the pace of destiny. Blessings are moving quickly now. Stay ready, stay disciplined, and stay aware. After celestial alignments, the battle between flesh and spirit intensifies. Your spirit may feel drawn to prayer, meditation, and deeper connection with God, while your flesh craves distraction, indulgence, and instant gratification. This internal tug-of-war is not random. It is the refining fire that shapes chosen ones for greatness. The eclipse brought heightened awareness, and now you must choose daily which voice to obey. If you yield to the spirit, you step further into alignment. If you yield to the flesh, you risk delay and stagnation. This is not a time for compromise. It is a time for discipline. The more you strengthen your spirit, the more authority you will walk in during this season. The eclipse was spiritual. Your response must be spiritual too. Many chosen ones will notice an increase in prophetic dreams and visions in the days following the eclipse. The blood moon opened a spiritual portal, allowing divine messages to flow more freely into your subconscious and waking awareness. These dreams may be symbolic, sometimes unsettling, but always purposeful. Pay attention to what you see in your sleep, what images linger in your spirit, and what signs repeat in your daily life. God communicates through patterns, symbols, and synchronicities. If you dismiss these signs as coincidence, you will miss the very instructions meant to guide you. Keep a journal, pray for interpretation, and stay attentive. Your dreams are no longer ordinary. They are instructions wrapped in mystery. Distraction is the enemy of destiny. After the eclipse, distractions will appear louder, more tempting, and more persistent. They come in the form of gossip, wasted time, unnecessary conflict, or even the endless pull of technology. Every distraction you entertain robs you of the energy meant to build your future. God is calling you to a season of intentional focus. This may mean fasting from certain habits, limiting who has access to your energy, or creating strict boundaries around your time. The discipline you cultivate now will determine how much of the eclipse's blessing you will actually experience. Distraction is a thief. Guard your focus, and you will guard your inheritance. Silence can feel heavy after a cosmic event like the total lunar eclipse. Many chosen ones expect immediate answers, breakthroughs, or visible changes. Instead, what follows is often a sacred silence, a divine pause. This silence is not absence but alignment. God is recalibrating the atmosphere around you, and during that stillness, He is watching your response. If you panic in the silence, you may run into the wrong arms or accept the wrong opportunities. But if you trust in the stillness, you prove that your faith is rooted in God, not in constant confirmation. Silence is where strength is forged, where patience is tested, and where discernment grows. It is not punishment, it is preparation. Silence is not emptiness. It is the soil where your blessing is taking root. One of the greatest dangers chosen ones face is forgetting what God has already shown them. The eclipse was filled with signs, revelations, and confirmations. Yet in the busyness of life, spiritual amnesia creeps in. You may begin to doubt the visions you received, question the promises you heard, or minimize the supernatural encounters you experienced. But forgetting is dangerous because what you forget you cannot follow. This is why writing down what you received during the eclipse is vital. Keep a record of your dreams, revelations, and divine nudges. When doubt rises, you can return to the evidence. God does not contradict Himself. His word remains true. Guard your memory, for it is the anchor of your faith. Eclipses always bring shifts in relationships. Some people will leave your life suddenly, others will reveal their true colors, and a few new ones will appear as divine replacements. This is not random, it is pruning. God is removing those who cannot walk with you into the new season while positioning those who are aligned with your purpose. Though painful, these shifts are necessary. Not everyone has the capacity to handle the blessing coming your way. Some people were comfortable with your struggle but will not celebrate your breakthrough. Others were tied to your past but are not assigned to your future. The eclipse revealed these truths so you would not waste time holding on. Release with trust. Those who remain are those who were meant to build with you. The days after the eclipse are not just about blessing, they are also about warfare. When your destiny accelerates, resistance increases. But take comfort. Your spirit is not being weakened, it is being strengthened. Every trial you've endured, every attack you've survived, has built a resilience within you that is now unshakable. God is raising warriors, not wanderers. This season demands courage, endurance, and unwavering faith. The enemy would not be fighting you so hard if you were not carrying something valuable. The eclipse was the signal in the heavens. The battles you face now are the evidence on earth. Chosen one, the warfare is proof of the weight of your calling. In this window of heightened energy, delayed obedience is disobedience. When God instructs you to move, act, or release something, hesitation can cost you alignment. The eclipse marked a turning point, and the opportunities that follow it are time-sensitive. If you delay, the window may close. Obedience may not always make sense to your logic, but it aligns you with divine order. Whether it's walking away from a toxic situation, stepping into a new assignment, or releasing a hidden fear, obedience is the bridge to your next season. You cannot afford to rationalize away God's instructions. Act quickly, for obedience opens the door no man can shut. The aftermath of the eclipse requires more than prayer, it requires discipline. Blessings are not just given, they are sustained by the habits you create. Discipline in your thoughts, your time, your energy, and your spiritual practices is what will separate the chosen ones who thrive from those who stumble. This is why many people miss their breakthrough. They expect blessings to arrive without preparation. But God is not sending you provision just to watch you waste it. The eclipse sealed a new season, but your consistency will determine how long you remain in alignment. Discipline is not restriction, it is protection. When you practice discipline, you prove to heaven that you are ready for more. Every eclipse represents both death and rebirth. The shadow of the moon passing over the earth is symbolic of something being buried, while the re-emergence of light is symbolic of something being born. For chosen ones, this eclipse was a birth canal, a passageway into a new level of identity, authority, and destiny. Like natural birth, the process is messy, painful, and uncertain. You may feel pressure, contractions of the spirit, or the stretching of your faith. Yet this is the necessary path to bring forth what God planted in you. The blood moon was not your ending, it was your labor. What comes now is your delivery. Chosen one, you have crossed through the birth canal of destiny. This is the ultimate warning. Do not let one mistake obliterate what God has prepared for you. The eclipse was not just a spectacle, it was a divine alignment, a covenant, and a test. Everything is now set for your breakthrough. But if you return to what God ended, if you ignore the signs, if you allow distraction to rule, you risk losing it all. Yet the opposite is also true. If you guard your focus, obey with urgency, protect your spirit, and walk in discipline, you will step into a season unlike any before. Blessings will chase you down, doors will open suddenly, and the promises spoken over your life will manifest with undeniable clarity. The eclipse sealed it. Now, it is your responsibility not to miss it. Chosen one, you are standing in a rare moment in time. The heavens have spoken, the cycles have ended, and the new has begun. The blood moon was not against you, it was for you, aligning you with divine timing. But the warning is clear. Do not let mistakes, distractions, or the pull of the past erase what has been prepared for you. Stay awake, stay disciplined, and stay aligned. If this message resonates with your spirit, let it be confirmation that God has not forgotten you, He has positioned you. If this word blessed you, make sure you like this video, subscribe to Anointed Era, and share it with another chosen one who needs this message. Your destiny is too valuable to keep silent. The eclipse has passed, but your breakthrough has just begun.